Welcome, friends. Happy Memorial Day. Memorial Day is a day set aside for us to celebrate and honor the many people who have come before us and lost their lives in war, protecting the country and the citizens of the United States of America. And so I invite you to spend a little time today to just contemplate the idea of Memorial Day and feel gratitude for each lost life who came to serve, who served for the highest good for our country. And as we do that, our talk today is based around the acronym for memorial, and we came up with memory affects mind or reality in affirmative living. Now, in Science of Mind, we call reality or mind another word for God. So when we say memory affects mind or reality, we don't really mean that our personal memory affects God, because our personal memory does not affect or change in any way God and all that God is, or reality and all that reality is. However, our memory does affect our experience of affirmative or negative living based on what we hold as memory within us. And so as we think about what this country means to us, as we think about what freedoms we experience today, let us think about how we are showing up, living affirmatively, and really utilizing the gift that we have each been given from those that served.
Well, it's important to remember that the word memorial means to remember. Memorial Day is not about mourning those who passed as a result of the wars and things in the past. It's a point of remembering, and not just remembering them, but remembering the benefits of their sacrifice, and recognizing the freedoms that we have, remembering those on a regular basis. Quite often we take things for granted. We don't always have in the back of our mind how free and how blessed we are as a result of the lives that made that possible for us. And so we remember the good things in our life that have resulted from the sacrifice of others. And so we hopefully have gone through most of the mourning of those people who have passed. And we know those who have had that experience of losing others, we know that we don't ever really forget. We always hold those people in our minds through eternity, I would assume. And so therefore we don't really ever forget. But hopefully the mourning part of that, the sorrow and the grief of all that has sort of subsided. But what we need to remember is the benefit of that sacrifice that they gave to make our lives better.
And so what are you doing today to celebrate, besides taking a moment to be with us and maybe a moment to give thanks for the gift of freedom and unity? Are you having a cookout or a pool party? Are you spending time with family, or maybe a walk on the beach in nature? Are you allowing this freedom to be pressed forward through you and through your personal affirmative living? When we celebrate, when we sit down to have that great big feast with our family after someone has lovingly spent some time at the grill or in the kitchen, or even making the purchase at the local barbecue or wherever, we have so many opportunities to give thanks for the reality of this life, for the ability and the capability that each one of us is endowed with to live affirmatively, to make our own experience a positive, life-affirming experience, to recognize that the many freedoms that we experience are such a blessing, and to perhaps even open our hearts a little bit to realize that those who served and those who we give thanks for today and honor and salute came from all walks of life. They were not just Protestant or Catholic or New Thought. They were not just Republican or Democrat or Independent. They were not even today just male or female. Everything about the reality of life goes beyond this physical essence. It goes beyond into the infinite and eternal reality of life. And you came here to play a role in that, to play a role in living affirmatively with your family, with your friends, with your coworkers, with your neighbors. And so take just a moment to reflect on what you might give back today. Who might you say thank you to? Who might you honor in a prayer or a blessing? How might you love the universe and all its people in a little bit greater way?
Memory affects mind or reality in affirmative living. And we have to remember that it's a mental state, it's a mental idea, it's a mental concept. And what we are shifting is our way of thinking about life in general. Knowing that although we have lost people and we have lost great effects in our life as a result of these skirmishes and wars and tragedies, what we hold in our mind is so much more important in terms of having an affirmative life and moving forward in this life. We're coming to these, hopefully, and I'm trusting, the final edges of coronavirus. And those who have gone through this experience with a feeling of loss of freedom and loss of rights have suffered, I think, much more than those who have remembered the positive ideas of life throughout the experience. And as we move into a new post-coronavirus experience, it's important for us to remember what life was at one time. So maybe the new reality is nothing more than a new thought, a new idea or remembrance of what life used to be, and going back to that. And I know a lot of people say they don't want to go back to the old, but there were some good positive things in those days in terms of just being able to go to the store and not worry about it, and go to families' houses and to not worry about it. Remember those things that were so great, and we look forward to the opportunity to do those again, remembering those things and remembering what it is to have an affirmative life, a free life. And we can draw a correlation, therefore, between Memorial Day and post-coronavirus days.
To a point. So the idea being that another way that we relate to it is that there was loss. And so never to take away from the experience of those who have lost loved ones, but just to realize that our own memory of this moment is affecting the way we're living in the next moment, because life is ever evolving. And so, as David said, we are in each now moment able to think anew and create the next now moment. So as you enjoy this day and as you reflect on the many gifts that we have to be grateful for, may you feel the blessing of life and make this moment a moment that holds a wonderful memory for affirmative living in your life and the lives of everyone.